I wish every day I could wake up as my ideal self. I wish that I could fit the expectations I set for my highest self and who I desire to be. And although I'm working on her, I realize that who I currently am, me in the present, is deserving of love and patience. I need to be present with where I am in life now and allow myself to feel the highs and lows of healing. Allow myself to bend and unravel and cry and feel. Sit with my emotions no matter how unsettling. I need to give her love, give her attention, listen to her needs, honor her presence. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to feel like that girl or my ideal self every single waking moment. I am human. My journey through healing, trauma, and growth is not linear. It would be foolish of me to think that every day will be the same. Everything in nature teaches us the patience of change through weather, seasons, birth, life, sunlight, warmth, cold, erosion, death. Everything is expected to change. So why do we expect our moods and our emotions not to go through similar cycles? As we birth and rebirth new versions of ourselves that are constantly growing through our lives, our feelings, our emotions, and our mental well-being will experience change. This change can feel good, it can feel uncomfortable. It may feel uncomfortable when confronting trauma. It can feel warm when we learn to set boundaries and honor our needs. It's okay to be human, and it is okay to change.
Hello, welcome back to my channel, beautiful people. I hope that you clicked on this video because you want to have some peace of mind or restoration after a long day of work or school, a 9 to 5. Or maybe you're just mentally drained, maybe you have kids. I don't personally have kids, but I do babysit. I hope that whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey, you can find some sort of comfort in today's video. Today's like today. I had a vocal lesson this morning and I barely slept last night. I came home, I babysat, and I have just been very exhausted, not just from today, but also just chronic pain and fatigue and the beginning of the semester and a lot of work and school and things of that nature. And so it is very important for me to decompress and have some sort of routine that I can stick with or kind of help guide me to make sure that I am balancing my physical and mental well-being along with all of my passions in my daily life. And so I just know that this is a video that's hopefully can inspire you to do the same. Let's just make sure that we can find a healthy release to the end of our day. So
I feel like taking care of myself and cooking meals and having a self-care routine, especially as someone who deals with major depressive disorder, is super imperative to my lifestyle. I realize that when I am going through a mental stump, I tend to pick up on negative habits such as self-isolation, overthinking, emotional distress, and disorganization. But there are a few things that I've added to my practice that definitely help when I am in a negative state of being. One tip I would share with you all is to be more mindful. Mindfulness allows our brains to focus on certain thoughts. That way, when we are exposed to our triggers or negative thoughts, we are able to assess them in a healthier manner. I have to be very intentional about my thoughts and practice mindfulness and gratitude. I feel like it takes a lot of work and practice in order to look at my thoughts and say, hey, is this a genuine thought that I'm experiencing, or is it because I'm being triggered right now? Is it stemming from my depression? And I have to evaluate those thoughts. Another part of my practice is meditation. Meditation may not take all the symptoms of depression away, but meditation will help you manage them. It works by changing how your brain reacts to stress and anxiety. And when you meditate and practice this mindful technique, you can override the triggers. It's crazy how these things actually help function our bodies. So when you practice meditating, you can train yourself to see certain thoughts, feel certain thoughts, and say, hey, where is this coming from? Why am I experiencing them? And so when you are triggered in real life situations, you can go back to that state of mind and realize, okay, I feel this type of way, but I am more mindful, I'm more aware of my triggers, and I know how to better manage them. Journaling is also a huge part of my practice. Talking to God, talking to myself, writing down things I'm grateful for. Although I may think them in my head, when I really apply them on paper and write it down, it really makes such a difference. I feel like I'm not alone in this, but sometimes I feel major imposter syndrome when I'm working on being more mindful. When I'm meditating or journaling, sometimes I feel all of this shadow work can feel corny or uncomfortable. Praying more can just make me feel like, am I really doing this? There's this small voice in the back of my mind that feels very condescending, making me feel as though my efforts are a waste of time. But I've learned to fight that voice. I feel like there is a spirit of depression that we constantly have to fight, that constantly does not want us to heal. I urge you all to continue to keep going, even if it feels weird or boring or, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Keep going. Depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain, and this imbalance can be formed by a multitude of factors, including childhood trauma, neglect, heartbreak, and a variety of other factors that can be very damaging to the psychology of our brain. I think it's very important to note that there is a large stigma against battling depression when you are in religious or spiritual communities. However, I would like to highlight that there is a spirit of depression as well, although it is a chemical imbalance, and we need to be very mindful of that because we don't want to override the fact that a lot of us have had very traumatic situations in our life that do cause different mental disorders. There is an awareness that we also need to be mindful of, and that there is a spirit of depression. Depression is a master of deception, and its overall goal is to convince us that there is no hope and that there is no light out of the darkness. This can cause us to feel like we're too far gone to be saved, and too far gone from the grace of God, and too far gone to even start healing or to continue healing. And it's like, what's the point? I want you to understand that deceit is the root of depression. Although we are feeling the season of hurt and pain and very dark space, we deserve a life of love and abundance and quality. We deserve healing. We deserve to give ourselves a fighting chance, no matter how much the voice in the back of our head tries to penetrate us with lies and sorrow and pain. I hope that you continue to fight and advocate for the life that you deserve. I hope that through self-care and through mindfulness and the little things that you apply to your daily routine can help absolve that feeling of hopelessness, anxiety, and depression. Sometimes doing these little things can feel so insignificant, but in reality, they do help us achieve our overall goal of how can I romanticize my life? How can I pull myself out of my depression and my sorrow and my stress? How can I get out of this stump? And those little itty bitty changes are for the greater good. guys enjoyed this video today, and I hope that this message reaches those who really need it, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video.